Good afternoon, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, I'm going to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh. I'm going to give acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. I also want to give acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Pray that the Most High blesses this lesson today, gives us more understanding on the times that we are finishing up, the era, the times that we're getting ready to move into, and what that actually means, and some of the events that are slated to come on this world in the very near future. I was told by the Spirit of the Most High to wait and watch the Most High do His work, to rest in the Father. And that's what I've been doing. Just resting, observing, watching the world, watching the Hebrew community, or just watching people and learning and growing and getting more understanding from the Father and from the Holy Spirit. And just realizing that all things will be revealed according to the Most High's will. And sometimes, it's best just to be patient and allow the Most High to do His will. Many people seem to want to project their own will, their own understanding, and not wait on the Most High to bring clarity to situations. And that was, I guess, a lesson that the Most High has been teaching me, to not be so reactionary, but ultimately understand that the Most High is in charge. And the Most High is the one that is in control of absolutely everything. The good, the bad, the negative, all of that is all the Most High. And many times, many people seem to think that, being negative is somehow, I don't know, hurtful, or is going to hurt your whatever it is, your ministry that you're called to do. But many times, that a lot of those negative comments and negative connotations of people and things like that, things they set up for bad, ends up working out for good. The Most High making me actually wait and relax and let Him do His will actually helped the last video, which I think was a very important video, really going into that into that Baruch chapter 2. It really started to explode the last few days as far as a viewership. So the Most High wanted to push that narrative and that information even more so. So sometimes, like I said, by doing nothing, the Most High blesses you in many other ways that you're not necessarily, counting upon. And it is funny because it is to see all these people making all these videos, being negative, people jump on the bandwagon, making other videos, and that's all right, man. Do your thing. I just sit back because I know the Most High is ultimately in charge, and whatever it is that many of these people mean for evil, the Father is going to turn around for good. And sometimes I saw this picture. It's pretty. It just kind of made like a lot of sense. And so things that have been happening the last week or so. Sometimes faith will make you look stupid until it starts to rain. We are learning right now. We are growing. We are seeing so many things going on, and the Most High has been downloading some information to me that I want to share with the brethren today. And we're going to be getting into some other books. And let's see. As we get into this other information, it helps to give more clarity as to what is coming on the earth. I think the Most High blessed me with some great information that's pretty eye-opening that will help people understand that we are on the precipice of huge changes. We are at the end of an age. We are coming to the end of the age of impiety. And soon, the age of justice will begin. But the Most High has some huge events that are going to occur at the end of this age of impiety and before we go into the age of justice. A lot of this information Moses was privy to, and when he read, I'm sure, the Apocalypse of Abraham. When you actually read Genesis chapter 15, which is really a popular verse this year, a popular chapter anyways, I should say, this year, because of the 400-year prophecy. But people don't realize that Moses was pulling all that information, or most of that information, from the Apocalypse of Abraham. And the Apocalypse of Abraham actually goes way more in depth. There's a lot of things that aren't in Genesis chapter 15 that are actually really gone in depth in the Apocalypse of Abraham. But if you don't believe in reading any other books, you will never get this information. And which I really understand is if you don't agree with reading any other books, I have no idea why you're even here. This isn't a channel for people who only want to read the 80. You got 90 to 99% of the other channels that agree with the 80 books only. So I have no idea why they're over here trolling on this channel. I'm sure you can find 80 to 90% of the Hebrew population that will agree with the 80 books. But over here, we're going to read other books. And people don't agree with it. Like I said, why are you even here? Go teach your 80. Go teach whatever it is that you seem to think is important. What a lot of people don't understand is you can't save anyone. If people really said that they believe in the 80 and they believe in the Bible teaches predestination. I don't need to go through all the scriptures, but the Bible teaches predestination. So people keep saying, if you follow Big Judah, you're going to go to the lake. If you're going to go to the lake, it has nothing to do with following Big Judah. If you're going to go to the lake of fire, it's because the Most High has already preordained you to go to the lake. Just that simple. And nothing that you can do while you're here can change that destination, because the destination was preset before we came here in the first place. So I believe in predestination. I believe that everyone is already predestined for whatever it is that the Most High has already decided for that person. Just like the Most High knew that I was going to be called to do this work at the end. So therefore, he's been preparing me my entire life for this. And he already knew what kind of a woman I was going to need to support me when I was going to do this work at the end. And the Most High is the one that gave me my wife. So when I hear a lot of these people talking about my wife and whatever she, because they're all so sure exactly what she is, then you're going against whatever the Most High has already preordained. So you must actually know more than what the Most High knows, because he's the one that set up every little thing in my life, even before I got into this truth. He knew exactly who I was going to need in my life to support me at this time, and he knows what I'm going to need in the future. So when you hear people talking about your wife this and your wife that, you're going against whatever the Most High has already preordained. I'm going to stick with whatever the Most High says and not what these other people say. But that's just You can tell people, you can tell who people are and how they are by their fruits, by what they say, by what they do. So make your videos, go say whatever it is you want to go say, but just know the Most High is going to be the one that's going to dictate at the end who gets what and who's going where. And every idle thought and every word that comes out of your mouth, you will be subject to. Now let's continue. We're going to read from the Apocalypse of Abraham. You know, and I was given, like I said, a lot more clarification as of the times that we are moving into. Because as we come to the conclusion of this 400-year sentence, we will be shifting into the age of justice. And we'll be moving out of the age of impiety. But at the end of the age of impiety, our people will be enslaved. Let's take a look at that. Take a look at 32. Now, even when you start reading a lot of these sentences a little bit slower, you start to get a little more information, a lot more understanding, even about the lands here being ours as well. Therefore, hear, Abraham, and see, behold, your seventh generation shall go with you, and they will go out into an alien land, and they will enslave them and oppress them for 1 hour of the impious age. That's an age that we are now coming into the end of. But of the nation whom they shall serve, I am the judge. And the Lord said this too: have you heard, Abraham, what I told you, what your tribe will encounter in the last days? Abraham, having heard, accepted the words of the Most High in his heart. Now, you take a look up here where it says, and they will go out into an alien land. That is actually referring back to when some of the tribes were actually moved over here. This is actually because we were moved into an alien land. And actually, I read about that and talked about that also when I read from the Book of Mormon. I want to say it's actually from the Book of Jacob. I'm actually going to look at a little bit of that later on. Because after the flood, we were actually dispersed in the other lands of Ham and Japheth for a while. And then the Most High actually moved a big, huge portion of our people actually over here into the most fertile lands for a time as well. And that's why when Columbus came over here, our people were already here and established, because the Most High had already moved us over here into our lands. Okay, so we were actually scattered all over the place even before. Okay, and I've talked about that in other videos, and I'm not going to go into that again. But when you actually then read this here, it says, and they will go out into an alien land. It was a land that we didn't know about, but it was actually part of our inheritance. Okay, so we got that right there. And they will enslave them, oppress them for 1 hour of the impious age. Now that's when the Most High allows the other nations to come over here and to enslave us and to take over our lands and to scatter us from that point on to all four corners of the world as well. So that's what this is talking about right now. Okay. Now, to show you something here, take a look at the top. Now, it's talking about this is the curtailing of the age of impiety. So as we come to the end of this age of impiety, which is exactly what we're in right now. We're coming to the end of this age of impiety because we're coming to the end of the 400 years of our enslavement. But check this part out right now, the next part. But before the age of justice starts to grow, my judgment will come upon the heathen who have acted wickedly through the people of your seed. Okay. Let's see here. Who have who have been set apart for me. In those days I will bring upon all earthly creation 10 plagues through evil and disease and the groaning of the bitterness of their souls. Such will I bring upon the generations of those who are on it out of anger and corruption of their creation, which with which they provoke me. And then from your seed will be left the righteous men in their number, protected by me, who strive in the glory of my name toward the place prepared beforehand for them, which you saw deserted in the picture. This is referring back to another thing that was shown to Abraham that I'm not going to get into in this video. But as you can see, now that we're coming to the end of the age of impiety, the Most High is about to unleash 10 plagues on the world. And the Most High is going to, he talks about how he's going to, let's see here. And then from your seed will be left the righteous men in their number, protected by me, who strive in the glory of my name toward the place prepared beforehand for them, which you saw deserted in the picture. Okay. And they will live, being affirmed by the sacrifices and the gifts of justice and truth of the age of, in the age of justice. And they will rejoice forever in me. And they will destroy those who have destroyed them. They will rebuke those who have rebuked them through their mockery, and they will spit in their faces, those rebuked by me, and when they are to see me rejoicing with my people. For those who rejoice and receive the truly return to me. See, Abraham, what you have seen, hear what you have heard. Know that you have known. Go to your inheritance, and behold, I am with you forever. Excuse me. So that's what's going to happen in between at the end of this age of impiety and before the age of justice really starts to grow. 10 plagues are going to be released. Now, when you start reading other scriptures, it starts to make a lot more sense, because this is kind of like what it's talking about. I want to read a little bit of Psalms 91. I'm going to read pretty much most of it, okay? He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. Okay, let me stop there real fast, because this is kind of referring back to this time we're moving into, how the Most High is going to send his angels to protect us while these plagues are going on all around us. Just like it happened in the time of Egypt, except these 10 plagues are going to be a little bit different than the other plagues. And we'll read a little bit about that shortly. Okay? But, so I read that 10 again. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. The Most High is going to protect his people. And he's going to protect them so that none of these plagues affect them. And all these other nations are going to be seeing all these plagues attacking everyone else, hitting everyone else. But to the Most High's chosen, that he is chosen, they will be fine. They will eat. They will be merry. they will be happy. And the Most High is going to show his power. He's going to administer his justice. For them, it's been just us. They've had their legal system to only protect them this entire time. Now the Most High is about to switch it, and he's going to bring his own form of just us and just protecting his people. That's what we're getting ready to move into. That's why the 10 plagues are going to come back again, just like they did before. And the other nations are going to know who the Most High's chosen people are. But that's, shows you what the times that we are in. Let me continue. Start with 11. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder, the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet, because he hath set his love upon me. Therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer. And I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. That's what we're moving into. The Most High is soon to bring these plagues on the world. As soon as our punishment is accomplished, as soon as our time is done, as far as our as far as our, slavery is concerned, it's over. Then the judgment falls on the other nations. And this is letting you know that judgment will begin with 10 plagues. And we're going to see the Most High's work. We're going to be here and we're going to see it. And the Most High has the one who's dictated who he's going to protect and who he's not going to protect. So the other nations will be able to see it. Let me read a little bit about these plagues right here in 30. Let me start there in the middle. It says, I will explain to you the things you desired in your heart. For you have sought to know the 10 plagues, which I prepared against the heathen. And I prepared them beforehand in passing of the 12 hours on earth. Hear what I tell you. It will be thus. The first, sorrow from much need. And if you see what's going on in Venezuela right now, you can already see that that's already starting to happen. I saw a picture today of just money being thrown on the ground because it's worthless. No food, no water, no electricity. Let's continue. The second, fiery conflagrations for the cities. The third, destruction by pestilence among the cattle. The fourth, famine of the world, of their generation. The fifth, among the rulers, destruction by earthquake and the sword. The sixth, increase of hail and snow. The seventh, wild beasts will be their grave. The eighth, pestilence and hunger will change their destruction. The ninth, execution by the sword and flight and distress. The 10th, thunder, voices, and destroying earthquakes. I was thinking about this morning because I remember reading all the Left Behind series. And a lot of that, Christian lingo and that going through the whole Christian church and reading these books is actually gives you kind of a good basis to kind of pull from when you're kind of getting into the truth. And I remember because in the books, these people would accept Jesus Christ, and all of a sudden they would get some magical cross on their middle of their forehead that only other Christians could see. But what the whole point of that was that while all these plagues were coming on the world back to back to back, the people who had this cross that was kind of semi-hidden and only other Christians could see it, they were able to go through life and not be affected by the plagues. Letting you know that they know that this stuff is coming, and they're trying to prepare for it in their underground bunkers, wherever they're trying to hide out, things like that. So because they know what's coming, they know the plagues are coming. And if you just take a look at the world, you can see that nothing is normal. Nothing is the way it used to be. It's like none of these people in the know are preparing for the future 20 years from now, 30 years from now. Why do you think that they're running the debt so high? Because they know that there is no future. So they're just spending money hand over fist. Because they know that after this 400 years is over, the plagues are coming. It's just our people aren't aware because they hid all this information in a lot of these other books. And many people in our nation refuse to look at absolutely anything else outside of the 80 books. But there's so much information. And it makes sense because when you start to look at what's going on as far as why the world is acting the way it is, why the other countries are acting the way that they are, what are they preparing for? They're trying to prepare for 6 months of this, or they're telling them to prepare for a year of no electricity, no food, because they know that these plagues are going to come. But they don't want to tell the people the truth. So they just kind of give them these random warnings. Well, get ready for this because this might happen. Get ready for that because this might happen. But not telling them that the plagues are coming for what they did to the Most High's chosen people. Let me let you guys know, because even here in the Apocalypse of Abraham, Abraham, when he was first called out of when he was with his father Terah in the land of Nimrod, he was told to leave the lands, and the Most High gave him an angel. Actually, it's one angel, and it's also Michael also. But if you want to know more about it, I'll just let you read the story yourself. But this angel, I'm going to read a little bit about it right here. It says, I am the one who, oh, no, he says, I am sent to you now. This is what the angel is telling Abraham, okay? I am sent to you now to bless you and the land which he whom you have called the Eternal One has prepared for you. For your sake, I have indicated the way of the land. Stand up, Abraham, go boldly. Be very joyful and rejoice. And I also rejoice with you. For a venerable honor has been prepared for you by the Eternal One. Go, complete the sacrifice of the command. And this is talking about the sacrifice that he had to go and do. But this angel was actually sent, to let's see here, to bless Abraham and the land. That was his job. But check this out. This angel is also given as a blessing to his future generation that was predestined to wake up at this time. And I'm sure he's going to be doing the same thing. He's going to be blessing the people, and also he's going to be blessing the land that was already preordained for these people, for the Most High's chosen people. But let me read it to you a little bit here. It says, behold, this is what the angel is telling Abraham. Behold, I am assigned to be with you and with the generation which is predestined to be born from you. And with me, Michael blesses you forever. Be bold. Go. So, as you can tell right here, it says that, I'm going to read it again. Behold, I am assigned to be with you and with the generation which is predestined to be born from you. And with me, Michael blesses you forever. Okay? So, this certain angel here, it was designed to be with Abraham, but he's also assigned to be with this future generation that's going to be predestined to be born here at the end. This generation is going to be awakened at the end. It's going to be enlightened and given knowledge, understanding back to them of who they are and where their inheritance is. And then this is all predestined. That's why I said I talk about predestination, because the Most High is the one that he knew exactly what's going to be happening, what each of us is going to need. What if you have certain if you have a certain let's see here. If the Most High has a certain job for you or task for you, He's going to give you everything that you need in order to accomplish that task. And that's going to be let's see, I guess gifts that you need, as well as people around you to support you. That's all part of it. If the Most High has a bigger task, He's going to give you bigger gifts and stronger people and more helpmeets around you as well. Whatever it is that He needs, He's going to be the one that's going to be taking care of that. Okay? Let's see here. So let me read 2nd Baruch, because this now starts to make more sense when you start talking to the other nations about what is going on with them. Okay? The nations will be judged because they're not going to understand why, because their own people are not telling them why. They're not telling them why. They're just telling them, hey, get prepared. Well, people are like, well, why? I thought we were blessed by God, because we've been taking care of these these Jewish people over here the whole time. So we've been blessed. So why is it now all of a sudden that we have to get ready for this, and that, and all these different plagues are going to be hitting the world? Why are we going to have to go through all that? I thought we were, God's chosen people. I thought that God has been blessing us and giving us this land and giving us all this other stuff because, we've been so good. Well, that's not the case. You got these blessings because God's chosen people fell off. You got these blessings because the Most High gave Esau the blessing of the sword. So for him to use his blessing of the sword, we were going to have to be at the bottom during that time. So we messed up. We went to the bottom. We served our punishment. Now we're coming to the end of that. Now the Most High is saying there's a time, a little period in between these eras, and now the plagues are coming. And they're not telling people why. They're not just telling people. They're just telling them, giving them just to prepare for something. We don't know what's coming, but something's coming. They know exactly what's coming. Let me read this to you guys real quick. Now, second Baruch chapter 13. I'm not going to read the whole thing. So they're in the middle. It says, Zion, you will surely be preserved until the end of times, to be for a testimony. And that's exactly what we are. We are a testimony. We're showing you what happens when you don't follow the ways of the Most High. We're showing you what happens when you seem to think, you get proud and think that you don't have to follow the ways of the Most High. Okay? This means that if these happy cities will ever say, why has the mighty God brought upon us this retribution? You and those who are like you, those who have seen this evil and retribution coming over you and your nation in their own time, may say to them that the nations will be thoroughly punished. And this they may expect. And when they say in that time, when? You will say to them, you who have drunk the clarified wine, you now drink its dregs. For the judgment of the Most High is impartial. Therefore, He did not spare His own sons first, but He afflicted them as His enemies because they sinned. Therefore, they were once punished that they might be forgiven. But now, you nations and tribes, you are guilty because you have trodden the earth all this time, and because you have used creation unrighteously. For I have always benefited you, and you have always denied the beneficence. That's what's coming now. That's why these 10 plagues are coming now. So the people will understand who the Most High really loves. And for people not to get it twisted. I want to read something else here from 2nd Baruch. It kind of talks a little bit even more about these plagues and what's coming on the earth right now. 2nd Baruch 29. Okay, I'm not going to show it. I'm just going to read it right now. Because I'm sure people have heard about Behemoth and Leviathan. That gets into these two huge creatures that were created on the fifth day of creation. Okay, let me start a little bit here. Start a little at the bottom of 28. Is it in one place where these plagues are going to start or happen? Because is it in one place or in one part of the earth that these things will come, or will they be noticed by the whole earth? Now, as you can see, the 10 plagues was talked about in um, uh, Apocalypse of Abraham, but they're actually talking about it also again in this here in Second Baruch. It's just like here a little, there a little. Okay, and it says that which will happen at that time bears upon the whole earth. Therefore, all who live will notice it. For at that time, I shall only protect those found in the land at that time. And it will happen that when all that which should come to pass in these parts has been accomplished, the anointed one will begin to be revealed. And Behemoth will reveal itself from its place, and Leviathan will come from the sea, the two great sea monsters, which I have created on the fifth day of creation, and which I shall have kept until that time. And they will be nourishment for all who are left. The earth will also yield fruits 10,000-fold, and on one vine will be 1,000 branches, and one branch will produce 1,000 clusters, and one cluster will produce 1,000 grapes, and one grape will produce a core of wine. And those who are hungry will enjoy themselves, and they will, moreover, see marvels every day. For winds will go out in front of me every morning to bring the fragrance of aromatic fruits, and clouds at the end of the day to distill the dew of health. And it will happen at that time that the treasure of manna will come down again from on high, and they will eat of it in those years, because these are they who will have arrived at the consummation of time. So this here is kind of given a little preview of how beautiful and abundant times will be when the Most High is protecting his people, while the rest of the world is going through literal hell. So now you're starting to see why the other nations are telling the world to prepare, to get ready for this and to get ready for that, but they're still not telling people why. Still not telling them why. We are now coming to the end of our punishment. Jeremiah 5:19. And when the people ask, why has the Lord our God done all this to us? You will tell them, as you have forsaken me and served foreign gods in your own land, so now you will serve foreigners in a land not your own. We served foreigners in our own land. And the Most High is going to protect us in our own land, which will be here. He protected us before. He kept the other nations away. That's why for all these hundreds of years, the other nations didn't know that this place existed, because the Most High kept them separated. And he's going to separate them again. And he's going to unleash the plagues. Just like I said, it's going to be like the Goshen all over again, where the Most High is protecting his people in the best lands. The best lands of Egypt was Goshen at that time. The best lands of this world are right here. And the Father's going to protect them. They're going to protect his people again as he unleashes these plagues. And now it's all starting to make sense. The timelines, as we come to the end of our 400-year of activity, of oppression. Okay? This is what you're looking at. This is what we're looking at. The plagues being released on the world yet again. All because of what befell us. And now the Most High is going to unleash the plagues on everyone else and protect his. He's going to show his power once again. He's going to regraft his branches back to the original tree. Justice has been just for them. Anything happened to them, people had to pay for. Anything happened to us, no one had to pay for. Now the Most High is going to be bringing these scales to everyone else. And just us is now he's going to just be protecting us, his people. And that's what the Most High is about to unleash on the world. Something I wanted to kind of read real quick, because the Most High is getting ready to regraft his people back together again. And I've read this before, but I'm going to read a little bit of it again. And it's actually from the book of Jacob, from the Book of Mormon. Let me get there real quick. Chapter 5. Let's read 64 through 69. Reason I'm reading this is because this regrafting is a process the Most High talks about, how he's going to do it. And he's not going to just get rid of all of the bad seed, the bad branches, everything all once in a way, just super, super fast. As we grow, as the good branches and seeds grow, then he clears the way of the bad branches. But he can't do it all at once. So then it starts to make a lot of more sense as to why, as the plagues increase our faith, and more of us, the good seed grows and comes back into the truth, then the Most High will then get rid of the bad seeds. I'm going to read that real quick, how this process is going to work. And he plans on starting it here, in the last place that we were scattered to, here in the Americas. It says, wherefore dig about them and prune them. Oh, hold on. Let me go to 63. Graft in the branches, begin at the last, that they may be first, and that the first may be last. And dig about the trees, both old and young, the first and the last and the first, that all may be nourished once again for the last time. So the last place that we were moved to was over here. And that's where he's going to begin the regrafting process. Wherefore, dig about them, and prune them, and dung them once more, for the last time, for the end draweth nigh. And if it be so that these last grafts shall grow, and bring forth the natural fruit, then shall ye prepare the way for them, that they may grow. Okay? So he has to prepare us first. And as we grow, then they prepare the way. Let's continue. And as they begin to grow, ye shall clear away the branches which bring forth bitter fruit, according to the strength of the good and the size thereof. And ye shall not clear away the bad thereof all at once, lest the roots thereof should be too strong for the graft, and the graft thereof shall perish, and I lose the trees of my vineyard. So as we grow and get stronger, he will then clear out the bad branches. So it's a process. So it starts to make a lot more sense as to why, as these plagues are going to be a process of growing for some and death and removal for others. Okay, let's continue with 66. For it grieveth me that I should lose the trees of my vineyard. Wherefore ye shall clear away the bad according as the good shall grow, that the root and the top may be equal in strength, until the good shall overcome the bad, and the bad be hewn down, and cast into the fire, that they cumber not the ground of my vineyard. And thus will I sweep away the bad out of my vineyard, and the branches of the natural tree will I graft in again into the natural tree. And the branches of the natural tree will I graft into the natural branches of the tree. And thus will I bring them together again, that they shall bring forth the natural fruit, and they shall be one. And the bad shall be cast away, yea, even out of all of the land of my vineyard. For behold, only this once will I prune my vineyard. So only this one time will he prune this vineyard. And he's going to be getting rid of all of the bad seeds, all the bad plants. They're all going to be getting burnt up and destroyed and thrown away. That's ultimately what the Most High has his plan is. So this is all just a process. And now we're moving into the process of reinstituting the natural branches back together. And that's what this is all moving towards. We just about paid for our transgressions. And now the Most High is going to move to bring the good branches back together. Okay? So it's amazing to see how the Most High is working. We are moving towards the end, almost out of the Age of Impiety. Then there's going to be the 10 plagues the Most High is going to release. Then the Father is going to protect his chosen, the ones he's already preordained. And he's been preparing us for this our whole lives, has all pretty much worked up to this point. Now the Most High is getting ready to re-graft his trees and natural branches back together. As the natural branches grow stronger and bigger, he will then get rid of the unnatural branches. It'll all work together. As we get bigger, they get smaller. They get weaker. It's not as he's just going to just remove all of the bad branches. That's not what he's going to do. He's going to do it little by little. As we grow, they get weaker. They get smaller. He has his process of how he's going to do this. What we need to do is put the Most High first. Study, learn, be used by the Most High. Be an example for the brethren on how we should treat one another, act with each other, grow together. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Pray this lesson here gave more knowledge, understanding, and direction for the wonderful times, wonderful and terrible times that we're about to move into. Shalom.